Greetings team, in this week's 5 for Flooring, I want to talk to you really quickly about Flooring Pro Fastening. Flooring Pro Fastening is a line of staples and staplers that we have brought in specifically to support our flooring efforts. While you've been out selling, many of you have had requests for duo-fast type staples, and we haven't had an easy way to get them in the past. Well, they're now in stock in the warehouse, and that's what we're talking about today. It's a great commodity item. It's easy to use to fill up, to make sure you hit that $600 order mark, but it's a very commonly requested item. In flooring, there are really two different types of staples that are used. There are the fine wire divergent point staples, and then there are narrow crown staples, and they're used for two different things. The fine wire divergent point staples are primarily used to hold carpet down to a wood subfloor, particularly in something like stairs, where they're attaching the carpet directly to the framing, the wood framing that the stairs are comprised of. They'll drive some staples directly up underneath kind of like the lip of the stair tread, and then they'll drive another set of staples down along the bottom of that facing before the stair tread, and then they'll stretch the carpet around and do the same thing again. To do that, they'll use a hammer tacker, and this is a tool that looks kind of like a hammer with a heavy-duty stapler attached to the end of it. You swing it, and when the head hits the wood, it actually drives that staple directly into it. So the fine wire divergent point staples are primarily used for carpet and padding. Now on the narrow crown side, the narrow crown staples are primarily used for two things, and that's for wood underlayment. I had mentioned before in another episode of 5 for Flooring, we had talked about how wood subfloor can get really rough, and there are many different types of kind of thin plywood style underlayment that help smooth that out. Those have to be fastened with a narrow crown staple. And then the other thing that narrow crown staples are used to put down is engineered wood flooring. Engineered wood flooring being that kind of plywood style flooring that has the hardwood layer on top. Well, instead of nailing it down with an L-cleat or a nail, they'll use a narrow crown staple. Narrow crown staples are primarily driven with a pneumatic tool. We actually have access to the pneumatic tools through Freeman as well. So fine wire divergent point primarily used for carpet, and then the narrow crown primarily used for wood underlayment or engineered flooring. As you're out selling, the great thing about selling the fine wire divergent point staples is that everybody in the flooring industry has used duo-fast type staples because they were around for so long. And generally when they'll ask you for a staple, they'll say, hey, do you have a 5010D staple? Well, Flooring Pro Fastening knows this, and so their staples are actually following the same numbering system. So if you look on web order entry and somebody says, hey, do you have a 5010D staple, just type in Flooring Pro 5010D 5010D, and it should pull up the correct staple on web order entry. Now, if they don't know that, but they know the measurements, there's two measurements that you're going to worry about in any staple. And those are the width of the crown and the length of the leg. So all of the staples will also tell you the crown and the length. So if they say, I want a 3/8 inch crown with an 1.25 inch leg, you can look that up and find that. Now, as well as the fasteners that we're selling, we're also bringing in two different types of staplers. We're bringing in the Hammer Tacker 5000 and the Hammer Tacker 7500. Okay. Now the difference is the Hammer Tacker 5000 is actually made to drive 20 gauge staples, and the Hammer Tack 7500 is used to drive the 19 gauge staples. And I know it sounds weird, but when you're talking about gauges in metal, a smaller number actually means a heavier product. So the 5000 drives the narrower 20 gauge staples, and the 7500 drives the kind of thicker, heavier duty 19 gauge staples. We have both of them available, so if somebody is looking for a hammer tacker, we'll have those as well. Also, keep in mind that hammer tackers are used in other industries. They're used in roofing. They're used to attach insulation. It's actually a really convenient way when you need a light attachment point. But you need something you can swing like a hammer and move quickly. So it might be worth bringing to some of your lumber yards or maybe even your hardware stores this line of fasteners and the fastening tools as well. Hopefully that gives you kind of a brief overview of Flooring Pro Fastening. I'm going to include a document that was given to me by Hollis from Flooring Pro. Great guy. He's always full of information. Hopefully you can read through that document if you have any questions, but really don't be afraid. Just let people know, hey, I've got the DuoFast type staples available. What type do you use? Listen to those numbers, put that into web order entry, and that should pull that up for you. I'm excited to hear about the steps we've made with luxury vinyl flooring, and next week I'm actually going to be filming a video specifically for the retailers to help them sell that product. If they need help or have any questions, I'm also available to answer any questions that they might have. We want this product to be successful, and we want the whole program to work for all of you. Thanks for your time. Happy selling, and I look forward to talking to you next week.